Welcome to the Moody's Tire and Auto Football Extra.
Visit us at Moody's Tire for all your tire and automotive needs.
Stop by and see us at 1600 Columbia Avenue.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome into the Week 9 edition of the Moody's Football Extra. I'm Joe Williams, along with longtime local high school sports expert Maurice Patton, and, of course, behind the scenes, Charles Pulliam, pulling all the buttons or pushing the buttons and pulling the cords. And, you know, I think he's got a harder job than we do, partner.
Yeah. No doubt. All we got to do is talk and sound like we know what we're talking about. He's got to put it all together. I'd do this over that any day.
Ain't that the truth? We've done this a long time. Long time coming to week number 9, and kind of a short week, Maurice. We open up with high school football in Williamson County, and probably the biggest game out there is going to be Independence traveling to Franklin. It has some major playoff implications.
Absolutely. You know, they're playing for not the top spot in 11 AAA, but the number 2 spot at this point behind Ravenwood and everything that goes with that in terms of playoffs, home field for first 2 or 3 rounds, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it still means a lot even though they're not playing for the title at this point.
Franklin comes out, of course, with Joe Critchlow at quarterback. You think about Bryce Milam getting the yards inside, Malik Grimes being able to get to the outside. If he can get there, he takes off. The kid's got speed. But Independence comes in not lacking their own weapons. Andrew Bunch has had a great year at quarterback, and, of course, Dom Childress, the Navy commitment, may be the fastest kid in Williamson County.
He may be. You talk about Malik Grimes getting it and going. Dom Childress is one of those guys that he's very much a one-cut-and-go kind of running back, and if there's nothing in front of him, you're not catching him from behind. But like you mentioned, I've been really impressed with the job and the numbers that Andrew Bunch has put up this year. Really solid season, and he's just a junior.
Another county highlight game for this week. Page travels over to Fairview. Maurice, basically different classes when it comes to the playoffs, different districts, but takes nothing away from the old rivalry of these two schools who sometimes get overshadowed by the AAA schools.
Yeah, I mean, when we're all in town and, you know, sometimes we tend to not pay as much attention to Page and Fairview. They were both in 12 AA until the last classification period. Fairview goes out to 11, but like you said, it takes nothing from this rivalry. I don't think they really like each other when it comes right down to it. I mean, you know, you've got some rivalries that are kind of built in respect. I'm not sure this is necessarily one of them.
Yeah, and another one that kind of falls in that category too, Ravenwood and Brentwood. They got the Raptors have basically wrapped up the district title, but boy, wouldn't Brentwood love to be the spoiler this week.
They absolutely would. And having watched Brentwood a couple of times this year, they've got the pieces in place that if Ravenwood doesn't come in at the top of their game and Brentwood plays at the top of their game, it could be a 4-quarter ball game. I think Brentwood could do some things that could potentially give Ravenwood some problems. I think Carson Croy has really come along at the quarterback position, and they've done some things to kind of take advantage of him. And defensively, Brentwood, I think, has gotten better over the course of the season. So I expect Ravenwood to win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close ball game or if Brentwood pulls off the upset.
Last year, of course, it took a Jeb Stewart block kick, like his 3rd in a row, I think, to secure a 1-point win for the Raptors, and that was at Ravenwood. So Brentwood will be at home, give them a little extra juice.
Exactly. And again, Ravenwood 8-0 right now. They virtually wrapped up the district championship. This could be that trap game that you talk about from time to time. If you're not careful, they've got to really be focused in this one, and it would really make Brentwood's year if they could pull this off.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of trap games, Centennial could possibly be facing one. They've got to go on the road, go over to Dixon County, and you wonder sometimes if the Cougars might not be thinking more about next week, Franklin coming to town on Halloween night. We'll talk about that more next week. How does Coach Brian Rector get his kids to focus on Dixon County, a team that can be dangerous?
You tell them that they can be dangerous and hope they believe you. Particularly going on the road, I think that will make it a little bit easier to get their attention along those lines. And we've talked about it on this show, Dixon County is not necessarily the Dixon County that we've gotten used to around here, but they're still a tough team, particularly over there. They've got a great crowd. It's a great environment. They've not given up on those kids, I don't think, and they'll respond to that. Centennial better go in there ready to play ball.
And that's the football games for this week. One quick final note. Over in Murfreesboro, they're still playing a little volleyball, too. Our congratulations to Brentwood, as the Lady Bruins will be going for their 10th 10th state volleyball championship. Ravenwood had a good run through the tournament, wound up losing twice in the double elimination. Maurice, they lost to teams that were a combined 106.
Not a whole lot of shame in that. I mean, it's tough to be upset when that's the kind of competition that you had to go up against and had to try to get past. But there's some great volleyball being played over here. We talk a lot about football, obviously, but obviously you've got Brentwood in the finals, and you've got Ravenwood that was right there with them, and Page also.
To say Page also got caught, if you will, in that double elimination issue. The Lady Patriots played for a state title. You realize they've won 6 out of the last 14, and I'm trying to remember the last time they didn't advance, at least to the state tournament. Good run for both Ravenwood and Page, and of course, good luck to the Lady Bruins as they face, we're guessing, either the folks from Knoxville, the Farragut Admirals, or Siegel, that has just been the two. Siegel and Brentwood just gone back and forth all year.
Yeah, and we saw them go back and forth here a bit ago as well, with Brentwood winning it in 3 games, but Siegel put up a heck of a fight on their home court.
On their home court. Brentwood on a 60-match winning streak. That doesn't happen very often. I can guarantee you it's never happened to Maurice or I. Charles, we don't know about, but for these two, I can guarantee you. Hey, thank you for joining us. We hope you'll come back and see us again. In the meantime, for Maurice Patton and Charles Pulliam, I'm Joe Williams, and this has been Moody's Football Extra.